Boom, boom, boom. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, hey, you showed up. Boom. We're gonna give you a hand over here on what are we on over here? We got TikTok over here, Facebook over here, YouTube right here. We're going live, and we're going to take you through. Today, I'm just going to straight up just talk to you about some of the so, some of the struggles. I'm just taking you behind the scenes. Some of the struggles that putting a movement together, building something. If you considered putting something, a movement, anything together, I'm going to just share with you straight up behind the scenes what's going through my mindset, some of the ideas that I have, the vision that I see, some of the struggles that I go through, some of the struggles that I have, and I'm just gonna just be totally transparent with you and just try to open up to you guys so you can see and hopefully you can come along on this ride, on this journey to me with us, because we're building up until, like I said, we're building up um, to July 4th, which is Blackout the 4th. We're building up to that, but I just wanted to share with you the journey, how it all came about, first of all. And the way it first of all came about is because, on November 6th, when we had the election, we were all up in arms, and I was in my feelings. I'm just gonna be straight up. I was in my feelings, and I'm like, man, how in the world could this happen? What did we do? What were people thinking? And as I'm scrolling through TikTok, I'm scrolling through Facebook, I'm scrolling through Instagram, I see all of these posts, and most of the posts are saying, "Did you see what happened? Did you see what happened? Did you see what happened?" What's going on, guys? Hey, I appreciate the love over here on TikTok. I appreciate the love. Let me do all the stuff up front. Hey, if you on any of these platforms, please subscribe, follow it, so you can follow the journey, and hopefully you can come along with us. But I was complaining. I was just a complainer. I'm just gonna be straight up. I was complaining. Can you believe this happened? And I was soaking in my feelings, and all the time, I'm hoping my wife, she was soaking her feelings with me, right? But she wouldn't allow me. She would not allow me to soak in my feelings, and she does the same thing she does every time I start complaining. She just looks at me and she says, "Okay, so what are you gonna do now?" Okay, that's what she does. I don't know. Do you have a significant other, a wife, a husband, and a spouse who will just look at you and they won't allow you to complain? No matter what you do, you're trying to sit back and you trying to soak, and you trying to put her on the wagon with you, and she can be like, "Yeah, I don't can't believe that." And no, no, she tough. She is tough. This. Hey, if you know her personally, y'all know that's a tough lady. So she says, "Okay, so I'm gonna ask you the same question. So what are you going to do about it?" So that's where we are now. That's where we are, and that's how the Blackout the Fourth movie. That's how it came about. I said, well, let's do something. Let me do something. Let's start something. Um, I began, and I told you we were talking about the four pillars on Black economic power. The four pillars was time, psychology, strategy, and dang, I forgot to see. But it'll come to me. But when we talked about resources, it was resources. So the first thing was psychology. I picked up this book. It's called Black Fortunes. Black Fortunes. Okay, it's about the story of the first six African Americans who survived slavery. So I picked up this book, and the reason I picked up this book is because I wanted to see the people. If you were a slave before and you became a millionaire, what type of mindset did you need, and how could I tap into that resource, again, resources? How could I tap into that resource of our past and utilize that going forward? So I grabbed this book, and I'm going through it, and I'm gonna share it with you, and I'm gonna take you through the Black Fortunes. And if you want to pick it up and you go along with it, maybe we can have a little book club or something, and we can discuss what we're reading. Okay, but just the top of it, it talked about how the Declaration of Independence, that Declaration was independence was actually signed in a black man's house. One of the first black millionaires. He went from slavery. No, I take that back. He wasn't a slave. Yeah, no, he went from slavery. He went from slavery to becoming a millionaire. Traveled from the East Coast, went over to the West Coast as a captain, became he was in Mexico, because at that time over in California it was a territory of Mexico, so he was a Mexican. And then we did what we do, Americans do, we colonize and take over, and so that's how he became an American. He became an American. So he was a Mexican and American. They moved the line down, and so now he became an American. He was a wealthy man. They actually read the Declaration of Independence in his house. So what am I saying? I'm saying that we need to, and we have to. I'm doing something totally wrong here. YouTube, I apologize. I'm going to apologize profusely to YouTube. Let me make sure. I'm going to have to put you guys on hold real quick, because there is no sound whatsoever coming on YouTube right now, and I got to hook that up. So hey, give me a second, guys. Give me a second. I told you this was live. I'm going to take you through some of the trials and the tribulations that you have. Hang on real quick. All right, so let's see how we can get that going. Boom. We'll get that up. I'm just going live and not even checking my volumes, not checking. Okay, YouTube, you good now. You 7 minutes into it. We 7 minutes into it, and so now you finally got sound. But I'm gonna go back. I'll do some post editing, get you some sound. But we're talking about like I said, we're going through, and the first thing we have to do is one of the pillars is psychologically. We have to build ourselves up psychologically. We have to become psychologically tough. Now, what are some of the barriers that we're running into? The educational system. Because, I'm just as guilty as anyone. Because through the education that I had, I believed, and I became part of this. I became part of believing that we were coming together as a community, as a country, and we were moving forward. I'm as guilty as believing that this was going forward and we would have a great system moving forward. Guilty as charged. But now I understand that the only reason that some of our other brothers and sisters on the other side that don't have the same color as us, who are not black, who are not allied, who are not allied with our movement, are not allied with what we would like to have going forward. Not understanding that, I became privy to basically going to sleep. I became dormant, not thinking. Okay, everything's positive going forward. Kumbaya. We singing songs together. Okay, we're doing all of these things together. That's where I was. So let's fast forward. Just wanted to talk about the other night. I was in my quiet time, praying, and God is talking to me. And some of the things I want to share with you, some of the things that He brought to me. Okay, so one of the things, again, psychology is first. So this is what He put into me. Don't know how in the world to put it together, because this Blackout the 4th movement is just the stepping stone. That's the first thing He shared with me. This Blackout the 4th movement is just the first stepping stone of what will be, that I believe that we will have going forward. So the title that came to my mind was the 2032 Freedom Manifesto. And what is that going to do? We're going to combat like Project 2025 and the Federalist Society. That's what it's all about. These guys have been putting this system together for 20, 30, 40 years. So they've been working on our psychological, our mindset, psychology, dormantly building up little by little by little, allowing us to, again, like I was, believing we were moving forward, but all the time they were behind the scenes trying to destroy everything that we were building up. So 2032, the Freedom Manifesto, what are we going to need for these types of things? Okay, so the Blackout the Fourth movement, which is we are redirecting our funds to Black and allied businesses. Again, the Blackout the Fourth movement, we are redirecting our funds to Black and allied businesses. We will put our money, we will spend our money with those businesses. Then in turn, those businesses will reinvest into our communities to build up, first and foremost, our schools, education. So we can teach our kids not to just sit in a chair to become robots. We want to teach our kids business. We want to teach our kids velocity banking, how to get out of debt, how not to get in debt. We would like to teach our kids a system of wealth building. We want to teach our kids about trust, about how to build a trust, put your assets into a trust and move those assets from generation to generation to generation so we don't lose them. We want to teach our children at young ages how to do all of these, how to run a business, how to network. We're teaching our kids how to sit back and do things themselves. Do it by yourself. Why can't we teach our kids to network, to build up a community, to talk with each other, work with each other, to build up whether it's a business, whether it's a company, whatever it is. Why can't they work together? Why can't we teach them how to work together instead you have to do the work by sit in your chair and figure out how to do it yourself? We call that cheating. In business, they call it team building. They call it team building. We call it cheating in school, but when you get in the corporate world, they call it team building. Well, we're going to work together as a team. Why? Because the person in charge doesn't have all the answers. Say it again. The person in charge does not have all the answers. So if we can teach them how to work together as a team, teach them that working together beats trying to do it by yourself. When they become older, 5th, 6th, 7th, I'm considering, starting maybe in the 4th grade, teaching them how to open up a bank account, teaching them assets, liabilities, all of these things in elementary school. I think we should be teaching them that. So what would we need to move things forward? We're going to need attorneys, political strategists, psychologists. So because psychologically they have to build up. We have to build up. Educators. We need clergy because we have to get the word out. And we have to put a system together that's going to educate our children. I think the terminology I used was, what did I wrote it down. Schools and rules. That's what it's schools and rules. We're going to take over the schools and then the rules, which are the courts. Those are the two things we need to take over. We need to take over the schools, psychologically build our children up so they can then understand how the rules are made and then take advantage of those rules. Financially, because the money moves politics. It's the bottom line. That's what we're understanding. Money moves politics. And what we're doing, we're sitting back, we're complaining, but we're not doing any of these action steps to build wealth, to come together, to utilize these pillars and educate ourselves. Another thing, y'all know I'm just running my mouth right now. Okay. Okay. Again, this is raw. This just straight up raw. This Frankie P. This is raw. So, hey, Karen, how you doing? Hey, how you doing, Karen? Let me see. Team building. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the waterfall method. So we need to teach them the waterfall. The waterfall method is so we can teach our kids how to transfer generational wealth. This is what the the Rockefellers, anyone who has any money, the Kennedys. This is what they're doing. They're putting their money into a trust. Each person has life insurance. And when anyone dies, the life insurance policy, the trust becomes the beneficiary of the life insurance policy, and the wealth grows through generations. Whenever you want a loan, whenever you have a business idea, whenever you want philanthropy, you borrow money from the policy, and then you're able to build more wealth to put back into the trust. And everyone, this is my concept. And now I don't know exactly how it works, but this is my concept of of utilizing the wealth. Put everything into one pot. We have become so individualized, and they have taught us that you have to do things yourself. We used to have families live together. We would put our resources together and build. But now everyone lives in their own big old. I have friends of mine. It might be a couple, and they live in $1 million mansion. It might hold 10 or 15 people who could probably live up in that house, but it's 2 people. And all the money that they have is going into this mortgage. They're utilizing everything that they have to live so people can think that they have money. We have to change our mindset. Now we have to utilize that money to begin to build wealth. We have to put that money back into a system that we're working together as a family. I'm going to say as a family. I would probably suggest that you work as a family. The idea that I had, I was wondering if they could utilize trust in a waterfall method to move money down through generations, through life insurance with families. Could you do that? Hey, Vita. Hey, how you doing, Vita? Could you do that if you were business partners together? Because as a business partner, you can have a key man policy on someone who has business policy who you're doing business with. So if you're buying real estate together, you pool your money together, you put it all in here, you buy the policies, and then every time you have a child, your child, because your friends, your family, your children, all of your children get policies, and you put it into the trust. The trust builds up. The trust pays out dividends quarterly to everyone who has access to the trust. Now, are you going to be able to live, retire and never work? Probably not. You're probably not going to be able to do it, but it could subsidize some of the things that you want to do as far as building a business. It could subsidize some of the things you want to do as far as purchasing real estate, going to stocks. You could have an idea of a charity that you would like to have, that you would like to build into. Those things help our community. You could have a school that you want to fund, that you might want to build. These are the things how I believe that we should begin to start thinking. Okay, how can we build a school? When we have this school built, what type of education, what type of curriculum do we want to have in those schools? Again, networking, team building, teaching them the waterfall method as far as transferring wealth, velocity banking, getting out of debt, not having debt, banking, trust, transferring wealth, science, technology, business ownership, conflict resolution. Let's just go on and on and on and on. These are some of the things that I believe that we should have in a curriculum that we should be teaching our children, except just sitting in a class trying to memorize a periodic table. I don't know, whatever it is. Okay, these are the things that I believe that we should start teaching them. We should start teaching them our history so they can understand how powerful they are. Teaching them about the money, how powerful their money is. Teaching them that you need to be active in your community, getting out, cleaning up the neighborhood, sweeping the neighborhood, maybe once a month. Everyone in the community gets together and you meet up at the top of at the top of the neighborhood, and everybody get a trash bag and you go through the neighborhood. It might not be a lot of trash. Hopefully, it's not a lot of trash, but it's the actions. Those are the actions that we can begin to take to going forward. Okay. So like I said, these are the things that's going through my mind as we build up going towards Blackout the 4th. What is Blackout the 4th? We're taking our money. We want to make sure that our money, man, I appreciate you guys over here on TikTok. Thank you. We're taking our money. We're value-based spending our money, targeting-based spending our money based on businesses, black business and allied business that have our values of how we want to build. Again, my thought process is let's build up so we can reinvest that money back into our schools and just my personal thing back into our politicians so we can then elect people who are going to have our best interests at heart. Not people who are just going to sit back and do nothing and collect a paycheck. I want someone like a Cory Booker who's willing to stand up for 24 hours and stand up there in front of the Senate for 24 hours and filibuster and let you know you're not moving forward. Now you may ultimately get your goal, but it's going to be it's going to be a long road to hoe. We all been in school. We all seen the bully. And the bully to come with, they take your money, they come and they want to get your lunch money. And if you give them your lunch money, guess what's going to happen the next day? They're going to come back again. Look here, sucker, give me your lunch money. Man, look, I'm going to share with y'all. Look. So when I first went to junior high school, there was a guy, man, big, man, this dude's probably 6 feet tall. And I think when I went to, I'm going to give you a visual. When I went to high school, the 9th grade, I was 6 feet tall and I wore less than 100 pounds. I think I wore 99 pounds. This was going into the 9th grade. So in the 7th grade, you could imagine skinny, tall and skinny. And my man, he's like, yo, Frank, what you got there? I think lunch was like 35 cents or something, right? He got my lunch money, 35 cents. And I just stood and I froze. I didn't know what to do. And I said, you know what? If he comes back again, I'm just violent. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I don't know where I get this from, but I said if he comes back again, I'm going to try to take my hand and put it all through his eyeball. I don't want to hit him in his face. I want to literally take my hand and put it through his eyeball to the back of his head. And that's what I thought. I'm like, if he comes up to me again, that's what's going to happen. And okay, but that's. You know, I've become a little more tamed in my older years, but that's where I was when I was a kid. I was violent, I was hot, I was angry, and I had to fight all the time. Like I said, I told you I was tall, I was skinny, so conflict would come my way because people wanted to test you, and when they tried to test you, you had to stand up. If you did not stand up, they would come test you. Day after day after day, and sooner or later you're going to get tired. I got tired, and, and one of the guys, my cousin, he says, "Well, this is what you do, Frankie." He says, "When you go up to him, you just act like you're going to be friends." Okay, I said, "Put out your left hand." So I put on my left hand like we're going to make up friends. He says, and when he does that, you pull him back to you, and you put your hand. So that's what I did. I went up there. I was like, okay, we don't need to fight anymore. We should be friends. Put my hand out there. I pulled him back towards me. As soon as I pulled him back toward me, pow! try to take his head off, man. He went to the ground. I took off running. But didn't have to worry about it anymore, though, right? Didn't have to worry about it anymore after that. So sometimes you do have to stand up for yourself. Like I said, can you stop it from happening? No, but you can protect yourself. You can stand up for yourself. And that's what I've decided to do in my life, that I'm going to stand up for myself. And that's what probably this Blackout the 4th movement is. We're being, in society, the minority community, the African-American community, we're being pushed around. We're being shoved around. We're being taken for granted. And I just believe that it's time, instead of complaining, it is time that we stand up. It is time that we put our dukes up in, not physically, but it's time to get involved. It is time to get involved and fight back. Not physically, but metaphorically. It is time for us to fight back. It is time for us to take the reins. It is time for us to understand what we can do, what we need to do, and start doing it. No more posts on Facebook. No more posts on TikTok. Do you see what happened? Because every time that happens, I was complaining to my wife. I was complaining to her. She'll be back Sunday. But I was complaining to her that I'm rolling through these posts. Can you believe that this happened? So she says, okay, well, why don't you just share with them the movement, the Blackout the 4th movement? I said, huh? She said, just share with them. Every time you see someone complaining, just share with them the movement and tell them this is an action step you can take. I said, girl, you look sexy when you said that. Did I say that, baby? You heard? Did I say what did I say when you gave me that idea?
That's a great idea.
I ain't say that. Yeah, I said. I said, girl. I said, girl. You look kind of sexy when you said that. I was serious when that popped in my mind. I was like, whoa, okay, that's real. That's real. So now every time now I'm scrolling through Facebook, I'm not getting anxious anymore when I'm going through Facebook. Now I'm getting excited when I roll through TikTok and I see a post, a negative post about, can you believe what's happening with the turf? Can you believe what's happening with the cars? Can you believe this is happening? They're laying off hundreds of people. And let me say this, and because this has hit us specifically, one of our good friends actually did get laid off. So this is personal. This is just not, something that we want. This is personal. One of our good friends literally got laid off this morning. So I am probably amped up just a little bit more to make sure that, again, because it becomes personal. I don't know if you have someone in your family who's been laid off. If you have someone in your family who's laid off, you know what I'm talking about. So what are the action steps? Blackout the 4th, guys. Share any positive video that you can. I think I'm posting videos. I have a couple of videos on the website. Take the video, post the video, and utilize the hashtag Blackout the 4th. I'm gonna be posting more often because we're less than 100 days away from the 4th of July. And I do have and Maria, can you do me a favor? Can you give me the paper off the copier, please? Okay, I'm going to put down. I'm going to give you guys a couple of options, and you let me know what you think, how you feel about these, I guess, statements or quotes. I'm gonna utilize a couple of quotes. You tell me which one you like. Based on which one you like, I'm gonna give you 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna give you like 3 or 4 different quotes. You tell me which one you like in the comments, and based on that, thank you. Based on that, that's what we're gonna start. That's what we're gonna start using. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So we're gonna have the Blackout the 4th logo, and the first one is blacked out, but for the culture. Okay. Number 1, blacked out, but for the culture. Number 2, Uncle Sam can't hold a cookout like we can. Okay. Number 2, Uncle Sam can't hold a cookout like we can. Number 3, I pledge allegiance to the black dollar. Okay. Number 3, I pledge allegiance to the black dollar. And number 4, 4th of July, more like 4th of Julyin', we wasn't free. Okay. And number 4, 4th of July, more like 4th of Julyin', we weren't free. Or maybe I can say independent because it's Independence Day. I think I'll use independent. We weren't free. I'm gonna say we weren't free. Okay. So number 1, blacked out, but for the culture. Number 2, Uncle Sam can't hold a cookout like we can. Number 3, I pledge allegiance to the black dollar. And number 4, 4th of July, more like 4th of July, we weren't free. Okay, so just let me know in the comments 1, 2, 3, or 4, and that's what the quote is going to be. And whichever one we have, I think if whoever I pick, I'm gonna pick some based on the quote that we use. Someone who gives me the quote, I'm gonna reach out to you and make sure that I give you a free gift. Probably one of the shirts, one of our Blackout the 4th shirts. All right. So like I said, I just wanted to jump on here and just share with you guys the journey. To share with you guys some of the journey, what's going through my head. This wasn't anything spectacular that I wanted that I was thinking of, but I just wanted to share what was going through my mind, how we're building up, some of the steps we're taking. If you wanted to get involved, please reach out to me. We're more than happy to have your assistance. More than happy to have your assistance. If you know an attorney, a political scientist, we need those people to help us out to get the movement up. A clergy, we need them to help to get the word out. Blackout the 4th, blackout the 4th, blackout the 4th. All right, so I'm gonna get out of here. It's time for me to go eat. Okay, it's time for me to go eat. This is partner Frankie P. Appreciate you coming on. This is Instagram, TikTok. Man, you guys are always the greatest over here on TikTok. Man, I appreciate you. And YouTube. If anyone knows how to use social media, because my social media skills are not very good. So if you know how to use social media to help us get more views, to help us get more traction, please let me know that too. I could definitely utilize that help. All right. It's partner Frankie P. I'm getting out of here. You change your perspective, you change your life. Remember, when you change your perspective, you change your life. When you change your perspective, you black out the 4th. You target base spin with black or allied business. Guess what's going to happen to our culture? It's going to change your life. Peace. Out of here. Love, peace, hair, grease. All right.